Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to work on my old Husqvarna 44. It's an old white top, and I think it's built back in the 80s at some point, but the actual information on it says that it is a Husqvarna Practica 44. It's made in Sweden. It's a rancher. I quit using it a few years back, and because it had tunability issues. Okay, for a couple more minutes, and then you got adjust the carburetor again. So it's pretty much telling me I've got an air leak somewhere. But I started looking for some seals. When I first started looking, I couldn't find nothing except for one side. And then I started looking again, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And I found where somebody supposedly has both sides. So I'm hoping that what I have here is right, because I really like to get this saw going again. It's a small saw. As you can see, there's no handbrake. So that was before the times of handbrakes. Excuse me. Alright, so I was able to find the small side. And so I went ahead and bought two of them just to have them. And I did that probably a year ago. And then I started looking again because I still wanted to get the other side. And I found somebody who had both, the small side and the large side. And I'm hoping these are the correct ones. And so I would like to go ahead and try getting this saw back up and running again. It will fire up and it will run, but it won't hold its tune. And typically that usually means you have an air leak somewhere. Alright, this saw was given to me probably 15 years ago, maybe longer. Yeah, probably about 15 years ago. He brought me like 2 or 3 saws, and he said I could have this one if I worked on the other one for him. And so that was our deal, and I've not regretted it. This saw is a very nice saw, and it's small, it's pretty lightweight, right? Make a good limber if you got a tree that's, you know, at your height. You know, you don't have to lean over much. You know, they make for a good limber. It will cut firewood all day long. I've got a 16-inch bar on it, I do believe. All right, enough rambling. Let's get started on this one. For the most part, this saw is, besides being dirty and just old, it's actually pretty mint. All right. I got the starter cover off, and I got the little shroud here taken off. These wires are pretty stiff here, so I was trying to be careful around them. This saw does have the blue coil, which I believe is a limited coil. You guys will see that. Right now I'm getting ready to see if we can't get this clutch off. That is a 15mm socket too. The drum, I don't think it's that old, so I might have replaced this also. And it's an actual Husqvarna part. So that should be your part number right there. Was it 5030888? Sweden. I believe that might be a 13. Yep. Oh, check this out. This saw has a flywheel with dual keyways. And what I learned when I was doing the Stihl 066 is that as they were transitioning from points to electronic ignition, they did that to a lot of the flywheels. And they were using basically the same flywheel to begin with. So they just cut another key into it. So they had a flywheel that would be good for the points, and a flywheel that would be good for the electronic ignitions. I'm assuming Husqvarna did the same thing. I'm assuming that is the same reason why there's two keyways cut into that. But it amazes me how old this saw is and how tight those bearings are. It turns very easily, but there's no play in them at all. All right, let's see if we can get this popped off of here the old school way. What do you know, the very next whack, it popped loose. All right, so if you have one of these saws and you're in need of a flywheel, here's some ordering information if you need it. So it looks like the part number is 1003730. I'm going to take this cover off here. Part wheeler should be back behind it. I see a couple screw holes, one here that's threaded and one there that's threaded. I'm wondering if you use those to push that cover off with. A couple of the screws out of the starter cover. And we're going to see if we can't get this pushed off. I know watch some of my videos, and I've been noticing I've been getting in the way a bit. I'm going to try to be more conscious of that, and try to stay out of y'all's way. Yep, that's working. That's exactly what we need to do. And it's not taking much, just a twist of my fingers. I'm not grabbing a hold of it with my fist, and all I'm used, it was the 2 of the 3 short screws that go and hold the side cover on, the starter cover. So I want to say we probably have it now, and I could probably take my screws out or use the screws to pull it off with. There we go. How do you like that? I could be absolutely wrong. I've been that plenty of times in my life. Let's see if I can put that in the place. I think that'll work. Put the gear off of there too. Check it out. Now I've heard tell crankshafts that you grease. I've just never seen it before. And when I first heard about it, I started looking at stuff, different saws, to see if any of them had them. I never had one until now. Because I see a little hole in the side of the crankshaft here, right about where the bearing would ride for the clutch. And then it looks like the center of the crankshaft is drilled. So now I know I don't have to take the clutch assembly apart to grease it. Just take my little grease gun for greasing the bar, and just set it in there and give it a couple pumps. I'll show you what I'm talking about, since you couldn't see nothing. There it is. There's a little grease hole there, and it is drilled through the crankshaft right to that spot. So you just take your little needle grease gun that you use for your bar, and you just set it there and give it a pump or two, and now your clutch bearing is greased. I need to get that that worm gear off of there. So give me a few before I go messing with trying to get the gear off on this side. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this side off and see how that seal is done also. So I've already got the little 3 screws loosened. I just need to finish taking them out. Okay, I think the seal is actually on the back side of this, I do believe, because I feel some drag and I can't get it off or get it past the key, so I'm thinking that's due to the seal getting hung up on it. I just gently tapped it and it popped out of there. There's my Woodruff key. Now I should be able to get this off all the way. And yeah. It looks like my seal right there. And this looks like the smaller of the 2 seals on this side. And that bearing still looks beautiful. So that should be the smaller bearing right here. Right, the smaller one right there. And the other side does look like it's this seal right here. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If so, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, send me some comments, let me know what you think. Be kind and help people when you can.